AOC blames Cuba's suffering on U.S. contributions, calls for end to cruel embargo. We also must name the U.S. contribution to Cuba's suffering, our 60-year-old embargo. Yeah, we stand in solidarity with the Cuban people and condemn the suppression of the media, speech, and protest. We also call for the end of the U.S. embargo and additional Trump-era restrictions that are profoundly contributing to the suffering of Cubans. Really? Hello and welcome to my channel. I am the Anti-Woke Warrior. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. And stick around to the end because we're going to do our weekly moment of woke in this video. It's a good one. I think you're going to love it. So, AOC makes this claim that we're not helping out Cuba. And it's our fault that they don't have the goods and services that they need because we're supposed to give these goods and services to them. We believe in free trade capitalist system, so it's not free in the fact that there's no cost. It's free in that it's open. So you have to pay us. Cuba would have to pay us for that stuff. Do they have any money to pay us with? Even if they did have money, are they going to be spreading that out to their citizens? We have this claim here. Why do some people say real communism, socialism, has never been tried? And are they right? Well, when I was 20, in my early 20s, I was on the same path. I thought, yeah, real communism has never been done. Because if you look at what communism says on paper, that's never been done. Never been done. I also believe that, at the time, I believed, I looked at the economic system and I was like, there's nothing keeping our system from collapsing. The only thing keeping our system from collapsing is people keep spending money. What if everybody stopped spending money? The system would fall apart. Whereas in communism or socialism, you have like a body saying, hey, you have to, you're going to get X number of dollars no matter whether you spend that money or whether you don't spend that money. You did your job, you're going to get a certain amount of money. Whether anybody spends money to pay you to do your job. So that's why I was in the same place when I was younger. Not anymore, because I realized that communism doesn't work. Democratic republic capitalism that we have in this country is the worst system. It's just terrible. It's awful, but it's better than every other system, and that's the truth. I mean, there's no equality in a capitalist system. In an open capitalist system, there's not. But there's even less equality in a communist system. And we're going to take a look here at a video about Cuba that's just going to blow your mind.
Let me tell you what's going on. There's no coffins for dead bodies. If you have a dead family member, they get pronounced dead. They get wrapped in a bed sheet. You get delivered the dead body, and you have to take it home with you. What you do with the body, they don't care. You have to figure it out. If you don't have a car, they don't provide transportation, and you have to take the dead body home walking.
So they don't have any coffins. Now, this is something that happens in communist systems. It's my understanding because there's no incentive to make these things. Right? There's always going to be dead people, so you're always going to need a way of disposing of the body, and a coffin or a casket is one way that we do that. But people can't afford to build coffins. How are they gonna go out and get the lumber that they need and then build this coffin and then sell it to the the mortician? They're not going to be able to do that. There's no system to allow that to happen because people aren't allowed to think about these things. People are too busy trying to get food. These systems break down because they just can't get enough to eat. They can't get enough to do their basic living. So it all falls apart because they have to reduce and reduce and reduce when you're in a communist system. You have to reduce things because if there's even a little bit of no incentive, or if the governing body says, hey, we don't need to have this, we're just going to get rid of it, so don't do this anymore, it's illegal. Even though if it's a lucrative business for you, you can't do it. So they start eliminating certain economic avenues. Let's see what else she has to say.
There's no drinking water. Food costs $200 US. A pound of rice costs $200 US. You don't want to know how much a 10-pound one costs. If you don't have family here in the United States to give you money, you have to figure it out. You have to figure it out. Because the only way you can get money in Cuba is if you get it sent to you by here. Oh, and here, it takes months to get to Cuba. They shut off their light and water at 7. As soon as the sun goes down, your electricity gets shut. Internet is shut right now worldwide in Cuba. That's why we're not getting any new news.
So this would go along the lines of what the people who are saying, like the real communism has never been tried, because it's my understanding, this way I thought when I was in that mindset, is that hey, you can have a democratic system where we vote in laws. So if you're turning off the power, well, we don't want that. We want that to stop. So we'll vote against that happening. The fact of the matter is communism, as far as we can tell, always becomes a dictatorship. There's never been a time when it's not a dictatorship. It necessarily has to, because the government is providing everything for the people. So do you think they are going to want to be told what to do and how to do it and why they're doing it, or any of that? They're not going to want to put up with that. And you might be thinking, well, why don't the people just rise up against the government? Well, that's easier said than done when you don't have any guns, because the first thing that these people do when they start to take power is get rid of the guns, which is something we're seeing here in the United States, where they want to get rid of the guns. I'm not worried about foreign invaders. I am worried about protecting myself from criminals, but I'm most worried about the government trying to oppress me. So they're going to do what they're going to do, which is keep information from you because they want to keep you subjugated. If they don't keep the information from you, you're not going to be subjugated anymore, right? You're going to look at the United States and go, wait, they have a better lifestyle than I have. You're going to look at Canada and go, hey, they're better off than I am. Europe, at Australia, Japan, even Russia now that it's no longer communist has a better standard of living than they had when they were communist. Let's see what else she's got to say here.
But we have family there. Everybody's out on the streets right now, just the same way they were yesterday. They're out on the streets right now. There's no medication. There's no Advil. There's no antibiotics. There's no butterfly needles. There's no IVs. There's nothing. There's nothing. And
it says here, this is a short list of things. The time limit doesn't give me enough time to list other. This is on TikTok. I don't know what the time limit is there, but they don't have any of these necessities, these things that they need to live a healthy lifestyle. And again, they don't have them because there's no incentive. And then since there's no incentive, there's no imagination to come up with these ideas of pursuing these other avenues of economic advancement. So in communism, if I'm working a job and I create 100 units and I get paid $200 for those 100 units that I created, then that's my pay. But the person next to me might only create 30 units and he'll also get paid $200. That's not right. And what people think communism is it's getting paid for your amount of work. And sure, if I write a book, if I take 20,000 hours to write a book, I should get paid for that book, right? I should get paid for that time that I put into that. It makes perfectly logical sense. It's like, it's not fair that I might write a book here in this capitalist system we have and make no money off of it. It might even cost me money. It certainly cost me time and effort. Why don't I get any money for that? Well, the thing is, in the communist system, what if that book is garbage? What if it's all woke? It's white fragility. How long did it take Robin DiAngelo to write White Fragility? I don't know. However much time she put into it was too much, because it's all a bunch of lies. Same thing with whatever Ibram X. Kendi writes. It's all lies. So you shouldn't get any money for that. You shouldn't get any money for claiming something is true when it's not true. If it's something that doesn't sell, then yeah, you're just not going to get any money for it. Whereas in a communist system, yeah, you would get paid to be a writer, but you have to write what the government tells you to write. If you write something that is not acceptable to the government, then you aren't allowed to write that anymore. In fact, you might be disappeared, never come back. So moving on, we'll see what else she has to say about Cuba.
now is when people are hearing the screams out of Cuba. I'm sick and tired of this dictatorship. And my whole life, when we visited Cuba, you could not say a word against the government.
Yeah, like I was saying, you can't speak out against the government because you will get disappeared. You're not allowed to put down the people that are controlling you, right? These dictatorships. It's the same way in even benevolent dictatorships in, say, Thailand. So benevolent dictatorship, they have open markets, they have free markets there. And you vote for cabinet members and such. But the head person there is, they get their job through nepotism. You're not allowed to say anything bad about them. So that's not in their country anyway. I mean, obviously here I can say whatever I want to say, but yeah, this is a problem that you're going to see with communism. You have it all the time. And what does this have to do with woke? You might be thinking you're the anti-woke warrior. Well, we saw just a few weeks ago when I put up my Yeonmi Park video, her sitting there saying, yeah, communism is like the woke, but the woke are worse. The woke are worse. They're like communism on steroids. It's insane what they want. They just want it now. They want to have this equity now, where people are dying in the streets, where you can't even put a person in a coffin. There's nothing for you to bury your family member in. It's up to you to provide all of that, and it's up to you to transport the body. It doesn't, it's just a dead body. It doesn't matter anymore. It's garbage. We don't honor the dead. We don't remember the dead. Communism it reduces all of your humanity down to nothing, which is what the woke does as well. It removes humanity. They're saying that I'm not human. What have I ever done to not be human? I try to live an honorable life. You might not like some of the things that I say, but I'm allowed to have my own opinion, right? You can't be the thought police. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean that I'm hurting you in any way. I'm not hurting anybody. I don't want to see people be hurt. Okay, I want everybody to be uplifted and happy and healthy in this world. But I just have a different notion of how things have broken down than you do. Okay, that's how it works out. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and move on to our weekly moment of woke. This came out a few weeks ago. We have here, is it just me, or are the people in this video emitting super strong Jamestown vibes? And it says here, is CRT a cult? This video makes me feel like CRT is a cult. No, CRT is a cult. The woke is a cult. Here we go. Let's watch it.
About racism, anti-blackness, or violence.
About racism, anti-blackness, or violence.
I will use my voice in the most uplifting way possible.
I will use my voice in the most uplifting way possible.
And do everything in my power to educate my community.
And do everything in my power to educate my community.
I will love my black neighbors the same as my white ones.
I will love my black neighbors the same as
Wow. This is really scary stuff here. These people acting as if they have to say this chant or else they're bad human beings. And notice how they're all white. Everybody you saw here is white. And this makes me so disgusted that they would betray their own kind this way. They would sit there and be like, look, I gotta worship the black people, the non-whites. I gotta worship them. I gotta make sure that I understand who they are and how special they are. And it's like, dude, we had all this. We had all of this. Everything was going fine until like 15 years ago. Then the train fell off the tracks. What are we going to do when this becomes a real race war? I hope it doesn't. I hope we all just, figure this out and stop being stupid. So anyway, that's all I got for this time. Thank you for stopping by. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.